in this era of the streaming war, that really started to fire up during the pandemic, the kind of idea, and certainly the idea that I thought, and that I know a lot of other people thought, was it's going to really all be about exclusive content, right? The streaming networks creating content that is just on their network. It can only be seen there, and that's where it's going to be, and where it's going to stay. Well, we've started to see that that's not really true. Max has started licensing out some of their stuff. We've seen Paramount license out a little bit of their stuff. And now we're seeing Disney. Disney, their umbrella covers everything from Hulu, ABC, ESPN, Disney Plus, and a lot of other branches. Disney is now getting ready to start licensing out some of their content to Netflix. As a matter of fact, we got 14 shows. They're about to come over to Netflix in a non-exclusive, not eternal, but a limited time, but still 14 shows that are under the Disney umbrella that are about to go over to Netflix. Those 14 shows are The Wonder Years, the multi-award winning show This Is Us with our good friend Milo Ventimiglia, My Wife and Kids, ESPN 30 for 30 is going over to Netflix, The Resident, White Collar, Reba, Archer, which might be my number 2 or my number 3 all-time favorite animated show. I love Archer. How I Met Your Mother, Lost is going over there, Prison Break, The Hewleys, The Bernie Mac Show, and Home Improvement. Those shows that have all, up until now, been exclusively under the umbrella of Disney in one of their various branches, are now also going to be available on Netflix. All right. We've talked about this before, but let's revisit this question. Why would a Disney or any streamer, you can just say streamer A, but let's call them Disney for now. Why would Disney take content that they have the exclusive rights to and let a competitor air those shows? I think this is something I never thought would have happened, but it's happening, and there's actually a little bit of a brilliance to it. Number one, let's be honest. Who is talking about the Bernie Mac Show anymore? I'm not saying the Bernie Mac Show wasn't great. I never watched it, so I can't say, but I'm not saying it wasn't great. But I'll put it on you guys at home watching. I haven't heard one of you send in a question in 10 years about the Bernie Mac Show. So who's talking about the Bernie Mac Show anymore? Who's talking about The Resident anymore? Who's talking about Reba? Who's talking about My Wife and Kids? I don't hear many people talk about The Wonder Years. So what happens is Disney takes these properties. Netflix, all the streaming services are looking for fresh content to put on, at least fresh for them. And now we're talking about The Wonder Years. Mm-hmm. We're talking about The Resident. We're talking about Reba. We're talking about White Collar. We're talking about Archer, which we all should be talking about Archer. And anyway, phrasing. We should all be talking about Archer. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. You know, guys, it's Christmas time, and I don't know about your family, but mine always used to like giving a lot of gifts. And whether you like giving big, elaborate gifts or small personal gifts, it's important not to forget to also give to yourself during this season, because the holidays are a great time to do that. So whether it's by starting therapy, going easier on yourself during the tough moments, or treating yourself to a day of complete rest, remember to give yourself some love this holiday season too. And you know, I think we need to talk about this more. You know, we always encourage each other when we're talking about improving our physical health, you know, going to the gym and working out. We talk about it with each other. We encourage each other. Well, I believe it's time we start doing that when it comes to our mental health. Make sure we're taking care of ourselves by looking at our mental health too. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So guys, in the season of giving, give yourself what you need with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Campea today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea. But so now they're in the limelight again. We're talking about it. These are now shows that haven't been exposed to a certain audience, and now the Netflix audience is going to be exposed to them. But here's what they're really trying to do. They won't say this, but I think this is what they're really trying to do. I believe one of the biggest spark plugs that got this whole one streamer licensing out their content to another streamer thing going was Suits. Suits, which just recently broke the record for the longest run as the #1 show in the world 7 years after it went off air. And it, for months, was the #1 show in the world, dominating all the charts, dominating all the rankings. It was there. Why? Because it moved from one platform to another, found a new audience, suddenly it exploded, and Peacock did something really smart. They let Netflix have all the seasons except the last season.
Nice.
So it's like, oh, hey, you got hooked on Suits over there at Netflix? You want to watch the final season? Come on over. The water's nice over here at Peacock. It was brilliant. It was an absolutely brilliant move. Now, can the Wonder Years or Reba or How I Met Your Mother or Prison Break or The Bernie Mac Show, can any of these be the next Suits? Probably not. But if you asked me 2 years ago if Suits could have done what it did, I probably would have said not likely. But I'm glad it did because I never saw Suits before, and I love that show now.
You know, I'm very interested. I've been interested. I just didn't know where it's playing, and it's starting Lost. Just because people describe it.
Oh, it's going to be on Netflix.
Yeah.
Now you know.
People describe it as like something like the premise to it, and it sounds super interesting to me.
It was one of the first cinematic, now that word is used over, cinematic TV shows.
Yeah.
I remember watching it, I was like, oh my God, this looks like a movie. This doesn't look like a TV show.
Well, and today we're a little bit spoiled.
Yeah, of course.
Because when the term must-watch TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had like, just this past year, we had Last of Us, we had House of the Dragon, we had probably 4 or 5 or 6 things that we tag as must-see. But back when Lost came out, you were lucky if once a year there would be shows like, this is the whole, like everybody at work is going to be talking about the show.
That was event.
Yeah, it was event television, right? Lost was huge. Now, it disappointed a lot of people the way it kind of fizzled out, but still, it is what it is.
I think this is also a good idea because when you think of streaming older episodes, which people love doing because if you have some downtime, you're sick, you want some comfort viewing, you want to go back and binge the old sitcoms or whatever. You don't think of Disney Plus as that location.
No, that's true.
Netflix does have that reputation of what's on Netflix, find a series we can binge. So I think this is a great pairing.
By the way, one other reason this is a pretty good move and smart move on Disney's part, I'm going to throw it to you guys. How much money do you think the Hewleys has been making Disney this year? None monies? None monies. None monies is the answer. Yes, correct. How much money do you think Reba has been making Disney this year?
Well, actually negative because they have to host it.
Yep, they have to host it, pay licensing fees, pay right? But guess what? These things are all now suddenly revenue generators.
Yeah.
Because Netflix is paying, yo. They are paying for Disney to ship those over there temporarily, right? So it's generating revenue. It's exposing their content to a new large audience, and they're hopefully positioning any of these shows to maybe get the Suits effect.
Do you think Netflix will, you know how Netflix has the top shows everyone's watching? Like they have the top. Do you think if one of these creep up to that, they'll be like, no, move that off. We don't want to pay more for.
No, because they wouldn't be paying more, right? They're not going to get paid based on how many people watch it.
Right,
They're just paying a licensing fee. They're going to do like Netflix hopes these shows crack and become the next Suits. Because that's how I found Suits. Suits was just like cranked right up there, #1 spot on Netflix. I'm like, that old show from the USA Network? That's like #1 on what? Yeah, Netflix would love for that to happen.
Yeah, it's a great way to promote older shows that maybe didn't get its due, like people didn't or just like overlooked. I really like that because a lot of these shows, they do deserve the attention that they're getting right now just because they were so good.
And let's see if any of them can break. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.